Tonight, open your refrigerator and look at the milk. There is a very good chance it came from a cow. Not a sheep, not a goat, not a buffalo, not a camel, a cow. And because you have seen that your whole life, it feels obvious. Milk means cow milk, but that is not a law of nature. It is a historical accident. Humans have used milk from many animals for thousands of years. Goats, sheep, buffalo, camels, horses, donkeys, yaks, reindeer, and mares in Central Asia. And here is the strange part. Cow milk is not the most nutritious milk. It is not the easiest milk for everyone to digest. It is not the closest milk to human milk. So why did the cow become the animal sitting inside billions of refrigerators? The answer is not because cow milk is the best. The answer is because cow milk became the easiest to build a world around. But before that, we need to ask a more basic question. Why are adult humans drinking another animal's milk at all? Because if you step back for 1 second, the whole thing is weird. Milk is not a normal adult food in nature. Every mammal produces milk for one purpose: to feed its babies before they can eat solid food. A baby wolf drinks milk for a short time, then stops. A baby lion does the same. A baby chimpanzee does the same. Milk is supposed to be temporary. It is food with an expiration date built into biology. And for most humans, that deadline still exists. Around 2/3 of adults in the world have some level of lactose intolerance. Their bodies do not handle milk sugar comfortably after childhood. This is not a defect. It is the original setting. To digest milk as an adult, your body must keep producing lactase, the enzyme that breaks down lactose. In many people, lactase production drops after childhood because the body assumes the milk years are over. But in some human populations, a mutation spread, lactase persistence. The ability to keep drinking milk into adulthood without your stomach declaring war. This became especially common in populations with long histories of animal herding, including parts of Northern Europe and some pastoral groups in Africa and the Middle East. So if you can drink a large glass of milk and feel fine, that is not the universal human condition. That is ancestry speaking through your gut. But that still does not explain why your milk usually comes from a cow, because humans did not discover one milk and stop. Different places built dairy around different animals. In mountains, goats made sense. In drylands, camels made sense. In South Asia, buffalo made sense. In cold northern regions, reindeer or yak milk could matter. The winning animal was not always the healthiest. It was the animal that solved the local problem. And the cow had one enormous advantage: volume. A good dairy cow can produce several gallons of milk in a single day. A goat produces far less. A sheep produces less again. If you are trying to feed a village, supply a city, or build a business, that difference changes everything. More milk per animal means fewer animals for the same output. It means easier collection, bigger batches of butter, cheese, yogurt, cream, and trade goods. Cows were large biological milk machines that humans could breed, herd, and eventually industrialize. That is the part people miss. Cow milk did not conquer the world because it was perfect for the human body. It conquered the world because it was perfect for scale. And once you compare it with other milks, the story gets stranger. Take goat milk. In many places, goat milk is not exotic. It is normal. Goats survive on rough land where cows struggle. They climb hills, eat tough plants, and can be kept by families without huge fields. Goat milk also has smaller fat droplets than cow milk, which can make it feel easier to digest for some people. That does not mean everyone can drink it, but for many, it feels gentler. Then there is sheep milk. If cow milk is the everyday option, sheep milk is the concentrated version. It usually contains much more fat and protein than cow milk, with high levels of minerals like calcium. That is why sheep milk becomes rich, dense cheeses like pecorino and roquefort. It is not weak milk, it is heavy milk. A small amount carries a lot of nutrition. Then you have buffalo milk. This is the milk behind real mozzarella. It is thicker, richer, and higher in fat than cow milk. In parts of South Asia, buffalo milk is not rare. It is a major dairy source. If you judged milk only by creaminess, buffalo would embarrass the cow, but the world did not build most supermarket refrigerators around buffalo. Then comes camel milk. Camel milk sounds strange only if you grew up far away from camels. Across parts of the Middle East, North Africa, and Central Asia, camel milk has been a survival food in places where cows would be almost useless. It can be lower in lactose than cow milk, higher in vitamin C, and it contains unusual proteins that scientists have studied for possible metabolic effects. But here we have to be careful. That does not mean camel milk is magic medicine. The people who drink it often live with different diets, lifestyles, climates, and herding traditions. So when researchers see interesting health patterns, milk is only one part of the picture. Still, camel milk proves the larger point. The cow was not the only option. It was just the option global agriculture pushed hardest. And then there are horse and donkey milks. These may be the most surprising. Compared with many animal milks, mare and donkey milk are closer to human breast milk in some important ways. They tend to be lower in fat and have a gentler protein profile. Historically, donkey milk was sometimes used when babies could not be breastfed because it was considered unusually digestible. The human relationship with milk was never just cow milk. It was wider, stranger, and more local than the modern supermarket makes it look. So which milk is the healthiest? That is where the question breaks. There is no single winner. Sheep milk can win on nutrient density. Buffalo milk can win on richness. Camel milk can win on unusual compounds. Donkey milk can win on digestibility and similarity to human milk. Goat milk can win in landscapes where cows cannot survive. Cow milk wins on supply, and supply is powerful. Because once a society builds farms, factories, bottles, cheese industries, advertising, and subsidies around one animal, that animal starts looking natural. But it is not nature, it is infrastructure. Now we have to talk about the version of milk that creates the loudest arguments today: raw milk. Milk straight from the animal, not pasteurized. Supporters say it is more natural, more traditional, and less processed. They argue that heat treatment can reduce some enzymes and change certain delicate components. And they are not completely inventing that part. Heating milk can change milk. But that is not why pasteurization became common. Pasteurization exists because raw milk can carry dangerous microbes. Salmonella, E. coli, Listeria, Campylobacter. Before modern safety systems, milk could spread serious disease. Pasteurization was created because unsafe milk was making people sick. So the raw milk debate is not simply nature versus industry. It is a trade, a small possible nutritional or taste difference on one side, a real food safety risk on the other. And for many people, especially children, pregnant women, older adults, or anyone with a weaker immune system, that risk matters. The older way was not automatically healthier. Sometimes the older way just had fewer safeguards. And this brings us back to the biggest point. The best milk is not the same for every human. Your body is not an abstract nutrition chart. It is an inheritance. If your ancestors spent thousands of years herding cattle, cow milk may sit differently in your biology than it does for someone whose ancestors never relied on dairy. Health is not only chemistry, it is history inside the body. And now the modern world has added another twist: plant milk, soy milk, oat milk, almond milk, coconut milk. Biologically, these are not milk. An oat does not feed its baby oat with milk. An almond does not nurse anything. These drinks are plant material blended with water, then processed to behave a little like dairy. But their success makes sense. If most adult humans are not naturally built to digest lactose, plant milks avoid the problem completely. Still, they are not all the same. Soy milk is usually the closest to cow milk in protein. Oat milk is often higher in carbohydrates and lower in protein. Almond milk can be very low in calories, but also very low in nutrition unless it is fortified. Coconut milk is richer in saturated fat and behaves more like cream. So plant milk reminds us that milk has become less of a biological category and more of a function. Something white, something pourable, something for coffee, cereal, cooking, comfort, and habit. So when you ask why humans drink cow milk, the real answer is not that cows produce the perfect human food. The real answer is that humans are practical animals. We drink what we can herd. We eat what we can store. We call something normal when history repeats it long enough. Cow milk became the default because cows produced a lot, farmers could scale them, industries could process them, governments could promote them, and supermarkets could stock them everywhere. Not because the cow won a fair nutritional contest. The next time you pour milk into a glass, remember what you are actually looking at. Not just food, a genetic mutation, a farming strategy, a supply chain, a cultural habit, a choice so old and repeated that it started to feel like nature. Somewhere else, another person is pouring goat milk, buffalo milk, camel milk, or soy milk with the same sense of normality. And they may look at your cow milk the way you would look at theirs. A little strange, a little arbitrary, maybe even less impressive than you thought, because the cow did not become king of milk by being the best animal for every human body. It became king because it produced enough milk for human civilization to build an empire around it. And once an empire is built, people forget there were ever other choices.